there actually hope for the Snake Eater remake? The answer, at least for me, is yes. Yes, after seeing some new gameplay footage, after hearing some hands-on impressions from people on gaming websites like GameSpot and IGN, after watching some of those hands-on videos, reading some articles, he just getting a little, word on the streets about how this game is apparently shaping up from what Konami's shown off so far. Yeah, believe it or not, me of all people, I might actually have some hope for the Snake Eater remake, of all things, for a new Konami game, which, I'll be honest, is just as shocking to me as it might be to anybody else. Because I have a grudge with Konami, as people probably know about me by now. I have a big freaking grudge with Konami. Lots of people do, and with good reason. They have been a really shitty game company for a while now. Firing Kojima, screwing up the development of Metal Gear Solid 5, canceling Silent Hills, tarnishing the Silent Hill brand again and again, with lots of shitty games, and even tarnishing Metal Gear with like Survive. They've just been a shitty company that has been just shitting all over their own legacy, their IPs, their brands, and even the upcoming Silent Hill 2 remake, even after all the new footage they've shown, and even after so many other people I know continue to be more optimistic about that game, I still am not looking forward to that release. I still have no interest in playing the Silent Hill 2 remake. I still have no faith in the way Blooper is handling that game. None. But this Snake Eater remake might actually be the opposite of that remake. This might actually be a development team that actually gives a shit about what they're doing, and not in an egocentric way, where they're drastically changing the original source material. Because here's the thing, Snake Eater is a freaking classic. It's arguably one of Kojima's best games ever, and possibly the best Metal Gear game ever made. Possibly, But, yeah, a remake of that game obviously had me a bit worried. But they seem to be staying really, really faithful to the original game. I'm impressed. I'm actually impressed with what I'm seeing. I mean, obviously the graphics are incredible. Yeah, they're using Unreal Engine 5, which is pretty damn good. So, it looks great. And I knew it would look good. But what's impressing me is just how close they're sticking to the original level design, the cutscenes, the actual voice acting and dialogue is literally just pulled from the original game. The only thing they seem to be changing at all are the controls and the gameplay. Apparently they're tweaking the gameplay to be closer to Metal Gear Solid 5, which, honestly, the thought of playing a perfectly preserved Snake Eater with better graphics and MGS5 style gameplay sounds pretty awesome, not gonna lie. That actually sounds like the perfect way to remake a Snake Eater, to do that game. But still, as much hope as I have from what I've seen, as much optimism as this new footage has given me, I still have my concerns. We haven't seen everything yet. There's still plenty of ways in which this remake could go wrong, could go off the rails. For one thing, there are certain scenes later in the game, particularly some pretty saucy fan service scenes involving Ava, that could be censored in today's climate. It's entirely possible that, in order to pander to certain sensitive groups out there, they could censor that shit. Or they could remove certain Easter eggs or secrets from the game that made the original so special. There's all sorts of things they could do to screw up the original vision later on in the game. It's possible. Um, you know, there are ways in which this could still end up being an inferior version of the original. But even so, this development team that Konami has, I mean, it is an in-house development. It is a Konami in-house production. They are making it themselves. Some development team underneath them is putting this thing together. And they seem to actually give a shit. They are crediting Kojima in the game. So, like, it's not like they've removed his name from the whole thing. They actually seem to respect the original work. Whoever these developers are, you know, as shitty as Konami has been all these years, it's possible there are still people there that actually have some passion, that actually care about what they're doing, and care about these past IPs. So, yeah, I actually have a little faith in this remake. I'm very cautiously curious to see more of this. Unlike the Silent Hill 2 remake, where the more I see of it, the more I just shake my head, this actually has me hoping that Konami finally releases something that doesn't make me want to vomit. It's possible. Because, and the funny thing is, there are some people out there, some journalists that are actually arguing against how faithful this game is starting out, how close it sticks to the original game, to the point where there's even still, they're not really loading screens anymore, but there's no loading in the game apparently, but like when you transition from one area to the next, it still fades out and you still get the names of different areas. Like you can still start shit in one area of the game with the guards or whatever and lose track of them completely in the next. Like, it sticks very close to the pacing and structure of the PS2 original. And some people are saying that's too faithful. Some people are saying, well, they should redo the map design to be more open world, or they should, you know, drastically improve all that stuff. And it's like, no. This is how you do a remake of a game that was already kind of flawless. Maybe not on the gameplay side of things, maybe not control-wise, you know. And they are tweaking and updating the controls to be more fluid and smooth. But all this other stuff, man, all this other shit, is what makes Snake Eater unique. If you change everything too drastically and try to make it like other modern games, you're really just, you're ruining basically the whole point of doing a remake of this game. You know, it's an opportunity to just make a definitive version of it. And yeah, it's possible that's what they might actually do with this. So yeah, I have some hope for Snake Eater, for the Snake Eater remake. You know, for all the shit I've given Konami lately, here's their chance. They have an opportunity to actually win me over for the first time in ages. You know, I'm still being very cautious here. This could still turn out to be shit in some way, but I'm keeping my eyes on it. You know, unlike the Silent Hill 2 remake that I've just completely given up on from the get-go because of those freaking hacks at Blooper Team. Whoever it is that's developing, whatever little team in Konami is doing this shit, is actually remaking this game, they might actually be the right people to do a remake of a classic like this. So yeah, in for a penny, in for a pound. You know, if one classic Konami IP has to be tarnished like Silent Hill 2, well, at least there's another like Snake Eater that might actually get proper treatment here and get a proper faithful remake that doesn't fuck with, you know, the original recipe, that doesn't mess with the things that made it so great in the first place. Anyway, that's all I got to say about this. Live for the passion. Bye. I'm still in a dream. Still in a dream, guys. Still in a dream, Snake Eater.